Welcome to Beyond the Workout with your host, Eric Dunstan. Hello, everyone. This is Coach E. I just want you to know that anything you hear on Beyond the Workout podcast is just information only. It is not a diagnosis for your issues. So anything you hear for well being, nutrition, fitness, exercise, any of those things, just take it that way as information. If you need help for a specific situation, please seek a professional. See your doctor, see a professional personal trainer, and they will diagnose your issues and they will take care of you. All right, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another show of Beyond the Workout. It's me, Coach E, Eric Dunstan, and today we're diving into a topic that's been coming up a lot in my conversations lately: how to transition to a whole foods lifestyle, especially if you're over 50. And I'm going to change that a little bit because even if you're not over 50, you should be eating more whole foods. So we know it can be a struggle, and we know that fast food is convenient. We know processed foods are everywhere, and it can be tough to know where to start when it comes to eating better. But today, I want to give you some practical tips and insights to make that shift to whole foods a bit easier and more sustainable in the long run. So, the reason why I've come up with this or had this conversation because a friend has talked about it, a coworker has talked about it, and recently a client had mentioned it. And usually, as a coach, I'll say, well, do things in moderation, you know, kind of control what you have and what you eat. Bottom line, I try to say, do a little and not too much. Don't go overboard. That's what I try to say. But I had to put my foot down when it comes to fast foods. And I'm sorry, every fast food chain out there, I will have to say, stop eating there. Just stop it. No, no more. And if you're probably thinking, well, you don't tell me what to do. And that's true. I don't tell you what to do, but I have to tell you why I say it. I stopped it. I used to work in fast food. And let me tell you, after working in it, no. But that's not the reason I'm telling you to stop it. It's because the things that it's I don't think it's really food. Let's put it that way. I just don't look at it as food. And I've heard other things about it, but I just really want you to know kind of the facts. But let's go into those, my contemporaries, because I'm 59 years old. And those of you who are over 50, going to reach your 60s and your 70s, I really want to encourage you. But those of you who are young and listening to me, I want you to do this too. My client, she's a young lady. And I tell her, no, don't do those fast foods. And I kind of named them. Um, but I'm not going to do that on this show. So I'm going to be careful. I don't know what fast food you have in your area, but let's just get more into this show because as we age, we know that nutrition becomes even more important for maintaining our energy, strength, overall health. After 50, our bodies seem to not process foods the same way they did in our 20s and 30s. And the reason I feel is that we don't move as much as when we were in our 20s and 30s. Because I heard someone mention that there was a study done where it says that our metabolism changes in, I think, 3 or 4 stages from the age of yeah, 4 stages, I think, from birth to 2 years old is a faster metabolism. Then from 2 years old to 20, it's still it slows down a bit, but from 20 to 60, it says your metabolism is generally the same. And then from 60 to 90, it slows a little bit. So I think we should slow down. So it seems like we probably don't process foods the same way. Well, our bodies don't change like they did when we were younger because we could eat whatever and it seemed like we just burned it off. But but we know that we probably don't need as much uh, calories, but we do need a lot of nutrients to support things like our muscle recovery, our joint health, and our overall vitality. And whole foods, those unprocessed natural foods like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats are packed with the vitamins and minerals that we need. But fast food, ugh, fast food and heavily processed snacks, they might taste good. They do. I've had them. They do taste good. They taste good in the moment, but they often lead to inflammation, low energy, and even weight gain. It happens because they are packed with a lot of calories. So all of that, those things can end up slowing down our progress, especially if we're working toward being fit and healthy. I hope that's your goal to have a fitness or a fit life, even in your 50s and 60s. So today we're going to talk about how to slowly, I said stop doing it, but we want to know how to slowly move away from those processed foods and embrace whole foods as part of our everyday routine. Doing this daily, even on the weekends. I'm not holding back. But let's start first talking about the impact of fast food and processed foods on your body. Now, processed foods, so you can, which I call ultra processed foods, are your chips. Now, you might say, well, what about these veggie chips? And when I say chips, put everything chips in your mind. And when it gets down to that little crunchy thing that you take a bite in, those are what I'm talking about as ultra processed, should not be eating them foods, or you should slowly transition away from that. So, your chips, your pastries, many fast foods are often loaded with unhealthy fats, added sugars, and definitely a lot of sodium. All of that will contribute to inflammation, weight gain, and poor overall health. It will. Now, we have the starchy grains too. You might hear people talking about we don't shouldn't do low carbs or eliminate carbs. Let me tell you something. There are certain carbohydrates that you better reconsider. Your white breads, your pasta, your rice are heavily refined. That refining grain, when they do that, it strips away most of the fiber and nutrients which you need. So what you're left with are empty calories that spike your blood sugar, leading to energy crashes and increased hunger. Over time, relying on these refined carbs, guess what? They're going to lead to you gaining weight. They can lead to insulin resistance and definitely inflammation, which are particularly problematic as we age. Now, an occasional fast food meal, it definitely won't ruin your health. It's not like you're going to eat, drop, gain 30 pounds from eating one meal. But when you make it a regular habit, that's when all that you might try to be shooting for as far as your fitness goal can go all the way back to the start. You feel like you got nothing accomplished. And it definitely will affect your overall well being, your overall health. And I say that because when I was talking to my client, she mentioned a particular restaurant that she liked. And I said, because I know some of the foods there are probably not that bad. In fact, it's funny, a friend of mine asked about that same restaurant. And I asked my client, I said, well, what would you get at that restaurant that you really love? And she said, I love the chicken tenders and the french fries. And I said, no, don't do it. I said, you can make chicken tenders at home yourself. You can do that. You can, they make chicken tenders are made from, I think, the strips of breast meat, which is a lean protein. And you can season it, grill it. We'll get into that a little bit more. And I told her if you make the fries, not all, don't do it all the time. You just have to use a fresh potato. I'm really against those potatoes, but it's better than getting a bag full of processed potatoes, throwing in the air fryer, and coming out with some ketchup and those fresh homemade good chicken tenders with this stuff. That's processed, ultra processed. If you have to have the fries, I've done it before. Slice them up, put a little oil on it, throw it in salt, and put it in the air fryer or in the oven. You got your French fries. But mm, stay away from that kind of meal. Put veggies with the chicken tenders. Okay, so let's just try to stay on track here. I don't know. It's just me and fast food. I just have a time with that. Just don't like it. Just don't like it. So let's get into some actionable steps for you as we make this transition, as we slowly, like I said, it has to be a slow process because anything that's cold turkey or fast, you might not keep up with it or continue doing it. And we want to make sure this is sustainable. So, how do you start transitioning to a whole foods lifestyle? Of course, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. So, here are a few swaps you can start right now. And this is something I do. Um, Michelle and I do it. Instead of white rice and pasta, which is a refined grain, ultra processed, even though this vegetable that I would recommend instead is a processed one, you know, you can find some good ones out there, or you can do this yourself. I use cauliflower rice, zucchini noodles. Now, cauliflower rice, I do buy mine frozen. It's the herb and garlic or plain one. Throw it in the microwave for 5 minutes. And I add grass fed butter to it, a little bit of Himalayan sea salt. And I have my bowl of rice, cauliflower rice, to add my vegetables and protein to for the week. The zucchini noodles, great, which Michelle uses a spiralizer, spiralize those noodles, those that zucchini and make her noodles. You can make a zucchini spaghetti. You can put fresh um, grass-fed meatballs on it. You can make a pasta sauce yourself and put it on there. And she also gets a spaghetti squash, and where she takes the insides out, and it looks just like spaghetti. Very good. It tastes like noodles, but you're getting a vegetable instead of a starchy, refined grain, whatever, unhealthy processed product. I don't like to call it food. So when you do like the cauliflower rice, the zucchini noodles, or the spaghetti squash, these are nutrient dense, low carb alternatives that provide more fiber and minerals without getting those sugar spikes. I suffer from those sugar spikes a lot, so I have to be careful. So I know a lot of people don't like this. Next swap is cutting out breads. Ah, I know it's I went to a specialist for the colon, and she mentioned how one of the worst inventions was to take a starch and put a protein in between another piece of starch. And in other words, she said the sandwich was the worst thing that could have been invented for the human body. She said just said it just doesn't work. And do your research, check it out, and see, what kind of effect it might have on the body, so you can make an educated guess. But we're talking about making this swap now, cutting out breads and choose non-starchy vegetables like leafy greens or healthy starches like sweet potatoes. Now, while sweet potatoes are technically starchy, they're a much better option because they are rich in fiber, vitamins, and have a lower glycemic index than refined grains. So they most likely won't spike your blood sugar. That's why they're good. So this means that They provide longer energy and like I said, without the sharp sugar spikes and that you would get from the processed grains. So by making these simple swaps, I hope that didn't overwhelm you. You'll avoid the energy crashes that come with processed grains and high starch foods, and which will help you feel fuller, longer, and keeping your energy steady throughout the day. So let's tie this now back to what I've invented, which is what I told you or spoke about before, is my better program, the BETTER. I'm hoping the captions get that. The BETTER program. Each letter stands for something. To me, it's a balanced approach to fitness because the B is your basic movements. The E is the mom, every minute on the minute. The first T is time under tension. I did a show on that. Go back and listen to it. The second T is Tabata. The E is eating right, which is what we're talking about now. And the R is for rest and recovery, which includes sleep, which I did a show recently on that too. Go back and listen to that as well. And I will continue to do shows as I want to encourage you to get into the groove of doing this. I'll do shows constantly around the better fitness program as well as other topics that might be trending or important to us over 50. So when it comes to eating right, transitioning to whole foods is definitely key. Think whole foods. Think uh, the perimeter of a grocery store. When you walk in, you see the produce, the butchery, you know, butchery? Yeah, the meats. You see the processed foods down there, the middle of the aisle. So just remember those foods, those whole foods are key to your overall health and your nutrient needs. So choose nutrient rich alternatives like the cauliflower rice, veggie based meals, plant based meals. I'm starting to dabble in that a little bit. I actually made a cool brownie, some brownies made out of beets. That's my go to dessert now. Brownies made out of beets. Awesome. And I love to share that recipe with you. Um, so you want to have the veggie based meals. So you're not, if you don't do that, you're not supporting muscle recovery and joint health. You want to make sure you're doing that and also fueling your body with foods that keep you energized throughout your workouts and your daily life. So remember, it's not about depriving yourself of certain foods or food products or food like products. Don't worry about that. You don't need it. It's about making better choices. Better. See, that's a pun. Pun intended. I mean, you're making better choices that support the goals of the better program and your overall health. And let me tell you, you'll notice the difference in your energy levels, your workout performance, your recovery when you swap out those processed carbs for whole natural options. And then let me tell you, as a coach who really pushed this, I have learned, I have done this, I've had my setbacks, I've had that processed foods, and boom, I've had those sugar spikes and those energy crashes. And I know it's hard. That's why I know it's hard for you because I fight through it. But I don't do fast food restaurants. I stay away from them. I drive, I see them, and I say to myself, no, 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 because they're usually all grouped together at an intersection. No, 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 I don't do them. And I hope you do the same thing. So I know some of you are probably thinking, but coach, that sounds good. I don't have time to cook like that. Neither do I. Or it's too expensive to eat this way. Hmm. Too expensive to eat this way. You know, you're priceless. There's no value you can put on your life. You are priceless. So whatever you spend for good food, you are worth it. You are definitely worth it. What you spend on that processed foods, it's not worth your time or your health. So, but let me give you a few tips to make this transition a little easier. Now, when it comes to time, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen. Try simple meals like a stir fry with cauliflower rice and lean protein. And what Michelle would do, which I love, she'll make a burger salad, with plenty of vegetables, and she would actually make it like a burger because she'll put ketchup, onions, pickles, and some mustard on it. It's good on a bed of greens with mixed greens. It's excellent. You would love it. I had my client do it. She loved it. And you can prep these meals in just a few minutes, sometimes in 30 minutes. And you do have time for that because you might be watching something. Turn your TV towards your kitchen and start cooking. You can do it. You watching a game, you watching your favorite show, you can hear it and look at it. When a commercial come on, start mixing those ingredients. You can do it. I know you can. You got the time. Now, when it comes to budget, whole foods don't have to break the bank. Cauliflower and other veggies are really affordable. If you buy them in bulk or you buy them frozen, like I told you, I buy the cauliflower rice frozen, and it's not too expensive either. You can shop local markets. You can go to farmers markets. They got really good prices there. Sometimes they'll negotiate. Now, excuse me. Wow, that was a good one. Taste. Now, if you are used to the flavor of starchy or processed foods, it might take a little adjustment to get to the taste of making these things yourself. But trust me, when you season your veggies and proteins with herbs, spices, and healthy oils, you won't miss the bread, the rice, or the fast foods. Your body will thank you, and your taste buds will adjust over time, and then you will thank me because you're going to feel good. So, here's my challenge for you this week, this day. If you're listening to it at the beginning of the week, end of the week, just put this challenge in your head and just try making one small swap. One for the week. I'm saying, you know me, if I'm a tough coach, sometimes I would want you to make one each day, but make one for the week and start with something maybe in your first meal of the day, your breakfast. So instead of that white rice or that bread, go for cauliflower rice or burger salad. Now, let's just say you want to say your first meal and you like eggs in the morning. Well, you can have eggs mixed with veggies. I saute me some carrots, zucchini, and squash and onions. I make them just saute them in this big pot first, set them in the fridge for the whole week. I'll crack two whole eggs, put those veggies in there along with some spinach and pieces of bacon. I do that for my protein also with the eggs. I fold that bad boy into a nice omelet. Mm, mm. I don't have one piece of bread. I don't have a muffin or a piece of toast. And it's good. It's high in protein, and I love it. Try it. Try it. Try that burger salad. And if you want something starchy, go for something healthy like sweet potatoes. Not too much. I make a sweet potato pie smoothie. I love to share that recipe with you. It's really good. So doing this doesn't have to be a drastic change. Just start with one meal. Over time, these small changes will lead to big improvements in how you feel and perform. So if you want more tips or recipes to help you on this journey, you can head over to my website, ericdunstan.com, and reach out to me. I am building that website to try to put more resources in there because as I do these recipes and I learn them and I figure out how to do them, I'm gonna share them with you. Those of you on my YouTube channel, or I do a Spotify also, you know, somewhere on those channels you can click and reach out to me. My website, I hope it's working when you hear this. If it isn't, you can reach out to me on my social media platforms. My Instagram is Coach_Eric Dunston, and Facebook is just Eric Dunston. You can message me. Just message me there. The only problem with messaging me on social media, I don't get notifications. I need to turn that on, but I will reach back out to you. And you can email me too at Eric at physiqueimprovements.com. Eric at physiqueimprovements.com. You can email me there too if you want to talk more. If something is not right with my website, I've been having problems with it. So remember, this is not about being perfect, but making consistent progress toward better health. And I want you to really reach down and ask yourself, when you start this process, is this sustainable? If you can say, yeah, I can do this, I can marry this method, I'll never divorce it. If you can do that, do it, stick to it. And I'm going to emphasize, stay away from those fast foods. I'm sorry. I hope you're still listening. I hope you didn't cut me off because I said that. But I'm going to keep saying, eliminate fast food. Make your own food. You can do this. So thanks for joining me, everyone, today on Beyond the Workout. And I'll see you next time as we continue to work together to live better, stronger, healthier lives. Okay? Please stay active, stay healthy, and remember to keep pushing toward that better you. You're all going to do great. I'm proud of you. This is Coach E, signing out. Thanks for listening to Beyond the Workout podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please be sure to check me out at ericdunston.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Physique Improvements. Take care, everyone.